You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family, your business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
Well, I do have a great team. When it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we are celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Some days we have a lot more to celebrate than others. And we always have a lot to celebrate, I guess. It's always, some days there's a national event to celebrate. National Cranberry Relish Day with whipped cream. You gotta love it. Look at that. That's the way to do it. You know, everything goes a little bit better with whipped cream. Cranberry relish. You know, and take a look at that. I mean, if you look at that cranberry relish, if you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials, or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 video feed, you're actually seeing cranberry relish, and looks like it's got real cranberries in there. It's not the gel that comes out of the can that, you know, and well, I will admit that, you know, I do like the gel. I don't know. It's, I don't know. Maybe I'm odd. Well, I know most people say that I'm odd, but that's a whole different story. Let's take a look and see what the markets are doing today. The Dow Jones Industrial Average up 282 points. The S&P 500 is up 30. The NASDAQ is up 57. And oil is up $1. Now it just up to $2.21 per barrel. Probably the Biden administration out there buying some. I don't know, but we'll see. We are seeing, though, a lot of companies are starting to tell us, if you're watching the business channel, that, you know, the economy is just not going quite like it was that they expected. Inventory is growing. Just saw Dollar Tree. Their stock is down dramatically today. Why? Well, they said that their earnings are going to be on the lower end of the spectrum. Why? Well, people are not buying the goodies and gadgets there. They're buying some of their food items, lower margin items. So their income is not going to be there. People now, if people are having trouble buying goods, you know, the goodies and gadgets at Dollar Tree, that tells you something about the economy right there of itself. But, you know, the Federal Reserve doesn't want to see that. So we're going to keep on watching that for you. One of the things I want to chat with you about, and you've noticed that we've been doing this a lot lately, and there is a strategic reason, not just because we started a credit repair company, but we did want to chat with you about credit repair and some of the myths. So the thought this morning, can credit repair companies raise your credit scores? That's a trick question. Can they raise your credit scores? No. Can they correct your credit report or help you correct your credit report, educate you on checking your credit report, and will that raise your credit scores? If you know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, then you might be in a problem. Why? Because if you start going and trying to address the wrong items on your credit report, they can be re-aged and have more of an impact on your credit scores than what you hoped for when you got started. the bottom line is credit repair companies do a good job. You've got to be careful of them because there are some out there that, they just want to get you on a payment plan where you're ordering credit and you're on a monthly subscription, and the never ending subscription. Why? Because they're really not doing a whole heck of a lot. They're not doing something that we call factual disputing. So the Fair Credit Reporting Act offers a whole lot of different methods of disputing a credit report based on the facts, not just going and saying, that's not mine. That's not the right way to do it, because you're going to get tagged as a frivolous individual, a frivolous report, frivolous questioner. But if you understand the law, then you can go in and there's, like I've shared with you this many times, 79% of all credit reports supposedly have errors on them. I think that number is way, way higher than 79%. I don't believe it's only 79%. I believe it's significantly more. But the issue is, does that matter? No, because the only one that really matters is yours. What does your credit report say? What's happening on your credit report? Can you identify the errors that have a material effect? So I get folks that will call us and they say, well, Ron, can you dispute all of these inquiries? Well, inquiries have an effect on 10% of your score. So the best that you can hope for is maybe getting a 10 or 15 point boost by dealing with inquiries. And as they age over time, they have less and less of an impact. So what you want to really be doing is looking at the items that have a significant impact. That's your payment history. That's your utilization rate. Those are items that, between those two, that's 65% of your score. So those are the areas that you really want to be focused on most. Is those. Now you can go look at public records. You can look at some of the other issues that are there that you just have to understand the rules of the game. Right now, as I record this, the World Cup is on. I'm not a soccer player. Obviously, if you look at me, you know that I'm not a soccer player. I don't understand the game. It wasn't very popular when I was a kid, and I never understood it when my kids were kids. I don't understand the rules of the game. Now, I understand that it's the most popular sport in the world. So that means it must have a lot of excitement to it for the right people. I'm not the right person. I don't understand it. Now, the same thing is with credit reports. Credit reports, no, they're not as exciting as soccer. Well, for me, maybe they're more exciting than soccer. But the issue is on credit reports, well, if you understand the rules of the game, you just ask everybody to play by the rules. If they don't play by the rules, there's a rule for not playing by the rules, right? So think about it in a soccer term, and this is all I know about soccer. You might have a yellow card at the very beginning. That gives the credit bureaus the authorization or the note to put on notice, hey, there's something going on here and you better change your ways. And then you start going to red cards. Now you might get more than, I don't think you can soccer. Josh, can you get more than one yellow card? I think you only get one yellow card, then you go to a red card. I think that's the way the rules work. Josh is into soccer as much as I am, obviously. So, but the bottom line here is on your credit report, you start off asking questions and looking at the report and getting an audit. And the audit is free. We give them away all the time. We may start charging for them next month or the month after, but right now we still give away the audit for free. You need a specific credit report. Costs $1, for the trial, the $1 trial. And then you get a free audit report. So that audit report is then going to go, that's going to give you a game plan. That's really the game plan. So you look at the audit report, you examine it, you say, here's an error, here's a material error, here's an immaterial error, here's an error, but if I change it, it might hurt my score, so I'm going to leave that error there. It's not going to have a big issue. And that's how we kind of go through and look at the report and set a game plan. What are we going to do? Because the bottom line is, if you understand the report, which credit repair companies, the good ones, do understand the law, then you apply the law, which is the rules of the game, to the report, and you will get a better score over time. Is it going to happen overnight? Generally not. There are some strategies that can happen overnight and help. But for the most part, no, it doesn't happen overnight. But that's the bottom line. So can credit repair companies raise your credit score when they know what they're doing? You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, what homeowners want to know about selling in today's market, tips for improving credit for future home buyers. Visit Anaheim has their report for us today, and the issue with overlooking property taxes in divorce. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
79% of all credit reports have errors that should be corrected through factual disputing. You could be saving thousands every year if your report was accurate. CreditSanitizer.com provides a free credit report audit when you furnish a specific $1 credit report. You can use this information to request corrections to your report and potentially save thousands of dollars. Get your free credit audit at CreditSanitizer.com. That's CreditSanitizer.com for a free credit report audit. CreditSanitizer.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Let's take a look. The S&P 500 now up 31.65. 10-year Treasury down 6 basis points, 3.765. Mortgage-backed securities are up 30 basis points. That's good news for people that are thinking about buying a home or refinancing or protecting their equity. And every day at this time, OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates with consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. Yesterday, 30-year conforming loans locked at 6.605. The 30-year jumbo, 6.526. 30-year FHA, 6.521. The USDA is locked at 6.58. And the 30-year VA loans, that's for the best of the market, best loan on the market for those that earned it, 6.323. That is all according to what OBMMI is reporting. Not saying that you're going to qualify for any of those, not even offering any of those to you. But that's what OBMMI is telling us. And the question becomes why? Because all that information is available on the super secret website, google.com. So this morning, stocks and bonds both higher to start the day. Some of the recent economic data, like retail sales, has shown that the consumer is remaining resilient. But is it a grand illusion? And how are consumers continuing to spend in this higher inflation environment? The answer, I guess if I was prepared here, I would have the drum roll going. And yes, I do have the drum roll going right now. So how are the consumers continuing to do this? Credit card debt. It's up 15% over the last year, the largest jump since 2001 recession. Additionally, servicing that debt has become more difficult as rates on credit cards have jumped 2.75% due to the Fed fund rate hike, up 2.75%. The other components is savings. Savings rate has dropped to 3%, which is the lowest level since 2008-2009 recession. And yeah, we've also talked, as you know, we've talked about this a bit, inversions. That's on the yield curve, which is a sign of weakness in the economy and a recession to come. We recently just saw the longest maturity bond, the 30-year, and the shortest maturity treasury, the 1 month, invert. That means you get more money when you give them your money for a month than you get for the 30 years. It shouldn't be that way. This has only happened 2 times in history, and each time we saw a recession shortly thereafter. We're also watching right now because inflation is obviously the issue of the day. Well, with a potential rail strike, well, that could cause more inflation because it becomes a shortage of goods. So one of the nation's largest rail unions voted to reject their labor deal. BLET, another large rail union, voted to ratify the deal, but said it would strike with any other unions that voted against it if there's not an agreement met. The strike date is currently set for December 5th. If this date is kept, then strike prep would begin on November 28th, which is the day the Senate comes back from Thanksgiving break. A strike like this would have an estimated negative impact of $2 billion per day and would not do any favors, again, for inflation, which is obviously what we're watching significantly. Thanksgiving coming up later this week. There's going to be a lot of data coming out tomorrow. So the most important of the data is new home sales, the Fed minutes from November 2nd Fed meeting. Historically, days the Fed minutes are released are tough on the markets, especially with how tough they have been talking on inflation and destroying the demand side of the economy. We'll also get mortgage applications, durable goods orders, and initial jobless claims. All of that comes out tomorrow. And as we've seen right now, and we're seeing it right again today, that the bond market is pretty favorable for us right now. As I mentioned earlier, well, it's coming back a little bit. The mortgage-backed securities are up 25 basis points, which means that it's a slight benefit benefit decrease in the mortgage rates. You may not see it on any kind of rate sheets right now, but we'll talk about that more in just a second. That's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. So why am I talking about some of these issues right now as far as interest rates? Well, we get a lot of great data from our friends over at Altos Research. And I just got the reports for this week. Total inventory of homes for sale went down a little bit, 568,000. Why is that important? Well, generally at this time of year, if somebody doesn't have to sell, they're going to start taking their homes off the market, or they just won't put them on the market, and they'll wait till the first of the year. They don't want to have to deal with making sure that everything is set like a museum for the holidays. So generally, we start to see, and we would usually see that amount of that drop be a little bit more dramatic than it is right now. So it came down just a little bit on that market news. The total inventory of homes for sale, let's see, that was total homes for sale. I don't know why I've got the same, looks like it's the same one twice. Oh, that's why. Okay, got to push the other button. New listings unsold for the week. Those are also coming down a bit. So again, we're watching that one. Why are there no new listings? Well, people don't put their house up for sale at this time. They want it sold right now. What is that telling us? What that tells us is when that starts happening, when we start seeing these numbers coming down, it's going to be pent-up demand. So if you've got a property that you're looking to sell and you've got it on the market right now, I would say do whatever you can to make sure that you're getting it priced properly, priced aggressively, and you're following all the steps that we've told you previously about getting your property sold. And if you go to rsrloans.com, we put a lot of great workshops in there. And one of the workshops that we do have in there on a regular basis, and I can't find it right this second, but you can search on there for it, is how to get the most money for your property. And it's a great workshop that we did, giving you some ideas on how you can get that done. So I want to make sure that you're watching those, and you visit rsrloans.com. It's always got some great information on there. I'm going to find out where that workshop is so I can make sure and highlight it for you. But get the property sold now before more properties come on the market. Total single-family homes pending contract with new contracts per week. Again, 314,000 single-family homes pending contract, 47,000 new contracts this last week. That's for the whole country. So think about that. That's less than 1,000 per state if it was broken down evenly. And again, the median home list price come down again. So we're watching all of that for you. The median price, $420,000. New listings are coming on the market at $369,900. That's, again, a national number. So in your zip code, you can get the number for your zip code, what's happening and what the market's doing in your zip code. Go to lists. Josh will get that for us in just a second. But I'm going to give you one that's going to be for a specific zip code, rsrlistana.com. rsrlistana.com. That's going to be for one of the Anaheim zip codes. Don't worry about it if you don't live in Anaheim. I get it. When you go out to rsrlistana.com, you're going to be able to put in your zip code, and it's going to give you a lot of detail on what's going on in your zip code. I know you know what's going on in your zip code, but maybe you don't know what the newest pricing is. Maybe you don't know what the price reductions are. Now, we are seeing price reductions plateauing. 43.2% of the properties on the market have had a recent price reduction. Why is that important to you? Well, maybe people are just taking the houses off the market so that they haven't sold. We know that. We can see that from the sales reports. So a lot of them are coming off the market. When they take them off the market, do you think they don't need to sell them anymore? Or do you think that maybe it's just because they're waiting till next year to sell? I think it's probably the latter. They're waiting till next year to sell. So they're going to come back on the market at the beginning of the year. Now, if you are one of those people that just took your house off the market, that same report that I just referenced, I'll make sure that it's on rsrloans.com, rsrloans.com. I'm not finding it real quick. But we did that workshop talking about how to maximize the sales price. Give us a call. Some of our area trusted real estate partners on Ron Siegel Radio understand how to do this from the beginning. So you may not have that situation where you've got to worry about having a price reduction because you're using the strategies up front that sell the property for the most amount and net you the most amount. So make sure you're watching some of these. rsrloans.com, rsrloans.com. We'll have that. And that's where we put a lot of our newest workshops. They go on there so you can actually get to them. You know, like I did a workshop for real estate professionals last week. Well, I went and did a little recap of it on yesterday. I just recorded it. The team got it all ready. And it's basically understanding credit. Or no, that one was interest rate buy downs, a win-win for both buyers. So that's the newest one we just did. Then we did understanding credit in the home buying process. Those are all there. So real estate professionals, you can watch them. But as a consumer, you know, if you're selling your house, unless you're planning on moving into a tent, you're probably going to be looking for a new property. Make sure you watch some of these things. And obviously, you've got our home buyers guides. We're going to have a new home buyer guide coming out, I think, in about 2 weeks. But right now, you can get the home buyers guide, rsrhbg.com, rsrhbg.com. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, what homeowners want to know about selling in today's market and the issue with overlooking property taxes in divorce. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay is available. Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We will be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Is your budget getting blown up with high prices of gas and increased costs for other household needs? This is Ron Siegel, host of the daily Home and Finance radio program. Did you know if you have a low interest rate mortgage along with auto debt, credit card debt, or student loans, your family could potentially save $500 or more per month by restructuring these debts? If you'd like a free Borrow Smart analysis with our team, let's book an appointment to see how we might be able to relieve some stress. Schedule your appointment at rsrbsa.com. That's rsrbsa.com for your free Borrow Smart analysis. rsrbsa.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. What homeowners want to know about selling in today's market. If you're thinking about selling your house, you're likely hearing about the cooling housing market and wondering what that means for you. While it's not the peak intensity we saw during the pandemic, we're still in a seller's market. That means you haven't missed your window. Realtor.com explains, quote, while prospective home sellers may lament that they missed their prime window, in reality, this is still a terrific time to sell. In fact, according to a recent Realtor.com home seller survey, 95% of sellers who sold their home in the past year got more than they paid for it. Nonetheless, some of the more prominent pandemic trends have changed, so sellers might wish to adjust accordingly to get the best deal possible, unquote. The key to success today is being realistic and working with a trusted real estate advisor who can help you set your expectations based on where the market is now, not where it was over the past few years. Here are a few things experts say today's sellers need to consider. Be willing to negotiate. At the peak of the pandemic frenzy, sellers held all the leverage because inventory was at record lows and buyers were willing to enter bidding wars over homes that were available. This year, the supply of homes for sale has increased as the market has cooled. Even though inventory is still low overall, buyers today have more options, and with that comes more negotiation power. As a seller, that means you may see more buyers getting an inspection, requesting repairs, or asking for help with closing costs today. You need to be prepared to have these conversations. As Ali Wolf, chief economist at Zonda, says, quote, today's market is different than it was just 6 months ago. Sellers that want the contract to move forward should be willing to work with the buyer. Consider having the closing costs or addressing many of the items on the home inspection list, unquote. Price your home at market value. It's not just that the number of homes for sale has grown this year. Buyer demand has also pulled back in light of higher mortgage rates. As a result, pricing your house appropriately so you can catch the eye of serious buyers is important. Greg McBride, chief financial analyst at bankrate.com, says, quote, price your home realistically. This isn't the housing market of April or May, so buyer traffic will be substantially lower, but appropriately priced homes are still selling quickly. You don't want to overreach with your price and deter buyers. At the same time, you don't want to undervalue your home and leave money on the table. This is another area where an agent's expertise comes in handy. Think about your first impression on buyers. Buyers have more options and are more particular about their investments since it costs more to buy a home today given mortgage rates. As a result, you need to make sure your house shows well. As an article from Realtor.com says, quote, to stand out in the market, sellers should make their home attractive to buyers, which usually means some selective updates, unquote. This could include everything from staging the home to making small cosmetic updates, tackling repairs, or undergoing renovations. A trusted real estate professional will help you assess what may be worthwhile to do compared to other recently sold homes in your area. Bottom line, to sum it all up, your house should still sell today and move quickly if you're realistic about today's market. As a press release from Zillow puts it, quote, sellers need to do things right to attract the attention of these buyers, pricing their home competitively and making their listing attractive to online home shoppers, unquote. If you want expert advice on how to sell your house quickly in a shifting market, give me a call at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. Now, remember, if you have any friends, family, or coworkers who buy, sell, or borrow on real estate, have them give me a call, and I'll put you in touch with one of the area trusted real estate professionals, and go get that Home Scout report. RSRHomescout.com, RSRHomescout.com. First tab is going to give you a listing of all of the properties that are available for sale, About 97% of the country. It doesn't give you all of them, but about 97% of the country. Fourth tab over, going to give you valuations of your property. It's based on history. So, I don't know if your property, what it's done in the last, few weeks, and that doesn't tell you based on what it could sell for. It's historical information. So you get that at rsrhomescout.com. It is free because we're your friends here at Ron Siegel Radio. Yeah, let's see. What do we got? On the Town. Yeah, gotta love On the Town. I love this segment. Every week at this time, our friends over at Visit Anaheim give us a major event of the week, a romantic event of the week, and a family event of the week. And I'm not going to tell my son about the romantic event of the week because he's not married, doesn't have a girlfriend, works at Disney, but he loves this one. But I'm going to tell you about the major event of the week first. Tree Lighting Festival. The Anaheim Tree Lighting Festival is back for its 28th anniversary on Saturday, December 3rd. Take photos with Santa in the Holiday Village. Enter the Candy K9 dog costume contest. Shop local vendors and watch as Anaheim lights up the Center Street Promenade tree to mark the start of the Christmas season. Join the free festivities from noon to 7:30 p.m. The romantic event of the week. And it's kind of funny because my youngest son loves this one. Andrea Bocelli concert. After 6 years, Andrea Bocelli returns to Honda Center in Anaheim on Sunday, December 4th. Andrea Bocelli in concert will feature performances from Bocelli's uplifting album, Believe, a poignant and personal collection of songs celebrating the power of music to soothe the soul, as well as a selection of arias, his beloved crossover hits, famed love songs, and music in honor of the holiday season. Purchase tickets on Honda Center's website. The family event of the week, Museo's Holiday Express. Museo's Holiday Express returns for its annual debut on December 3rd in Anaheim. Museo, Museum, and Cultural Center have teamed up with the Train Collectors Association, the Toy Train Operating Society, to create elaborate seasonal model train displays. The interactive exhibit includes life-sized railway history unique to Southern California and viewings of holiday favorite, the Polar Express, on select evenings. Gotta love those three events. That's brought to you. That's Visit Anaheim, giving us their on-the-town suggestions every week. The major event of the week, the romantic event of the week, and the family event of the week. Let's see if I can get this in the Your Credit Matters segment. I like Your Credit Matters. If I could open up the segment on there, it is right there. Got to get that in front of me. Your Credit Matters brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. You have a credit report, it's wrong. Get the credit audit before they go away for free. We'll still do them, but we probably won't be doing them for free much longer. You do have to pay for the $1 credit report. Tips for improving credit for future home buyers is our segment today. When you're considering starting home shopping, it's important to put yourself in the best possible position. To do this, you'll want to shore up your finances, increase your credit score. Follow these simple steps to get you closer to your home buying dream. Easy for me to say. Number one, check your credit score. Your credit score will be one of the main considerations in your mortgage application. So check yours to see what needs the most work. A credit score is based on a number of factors: payment history, credit usage, types of credit, age of credit, and recent inquiries. Though you can't impact all of these in a short period of time, you can take steps to improve in some areas. Make sure you're paying all of your bills on time, as on-time payments have a huge impact on your score. Do not apply for new lines of credit, but you can request a credit limit increase to current credit lines to improve your usage percentage. If you see any errors on your credit report, dispute them so that errors can be removed or corrected and target credit usage when you make your budget. Number two, assess your finances. Oh, before we go on to assessing your finances, cleanall3.com, cleanall3.com. That's going to give you your credit report. Again, it costs you $1. And it's going to give you your credit report with true FICO scores, not Vantage scores, not FACO scores, not credit scores, legitimate FICO credit scores. Number two, assess your finances. To know what you have to do to buy the home of your dreams, you need to know where you stand. Write down everything you have coming in and going out each month first. Some of these expenses, such as your car and student loan payments, stay the same over time and will come with you to your new home. Others are variable and change from month to month, including how often you eat out and your entertainment expenses. And these expenditures can most likely be shaved down or eliminated entirely with a budget. Because home buying comes with many expenses, a down payment, inspection fees, closing costs, your budget should be tighter in the period before you buy than normal. You'll also want to budget for a home warranty. See if a home warranty is worth the money. When developing your budget, focus on eliminating your highest interest debt and saving for those home buying expenses. Lenders will also look at your debt to income ratio, or DTI, which is the amount of money you have coming in each month versus the expenses you have. Though it varies between lenders, many lenders will not give a mortgage to someone whose DTI is higher than, I'm going to tell you, 49% on certain programs, 43% on others. It all depends on the program. Number 3, understand home buying costs. For nearly every type of mortgage, down payment is required. A down payment of no less than 20% is suggested to have better home options and lower monthly costs. Conventional loans allow 20%. However, you can also have a down payment of as little as 3%. For down payments below 20%, private mortgage insurance generally required. It can be bought out. So I say generally. Other types of loans, like an FHA loan, require between 3.5% and 10% down payment, depending on your credit score. Make sure you understand how much you'll be spending on your new home by using a mortgage calculator, and we do have those available for you. Again, you can go to rsrloans.com, and you'll be able to get some of the options for down payments and how to get you a better payment scenario. And again, you can do that at rsrloans.com. rsrloans.com. We did a workshop on how to get the interest rate down. So if you look on there, how to get the interest rate down, a win-win for both buyers and sellers. You're a consumer. You can use the same thing, how to get your interest rate down. One of the big mistakes I see over and over and over again is people that want to negotiate on the price. Don't do that. Negotiate on the interest. Negotiate on saying, you know something, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I'll give you your price, but I want you to give me back 2, 3, 4, 5% in the way of buying down the interest rate. Over about a 3-year period, you'll come out far better off than negotiating on price. And I know I see these memes on social media all the time, talking now about pay a higher price and get the higher interest is okay if you get a discount on the price. Hogwash. Do the math. I have. And I can share it with you. All you have to do is ask me for it. So make sure you understand how much you'll be spending on the home and get that mortgage calculator. Other home buying fees can add up quickly and be more variable. You'll likely have a loan origination fee, maybe not, an inspection fee, appraisal fee, some others. You may be able to control some of these by choosing your own professionals. However, others will be selected by the seller, real estate office, or mortgage company. A brokerage commission may be paid to real estate agents on closing, your home warranty, property insurance, and taxes, and any points you wish to pay to lower your mortgage rate, as well as current interest rates will go into your final costs. Account for all of these expenses when deciding how much mortgage you can afford. Take these steps to improve your creditworthiness and your DTI, and know what you're looking for when you begin shopping for a lender to work with so you get the best rate possible. And I'm going to tell you, you want the best structure possible. Just had somebody the other day sent me a project to look at, and it had a VA loan with 10% down. And I'm thinking, why in the world are you doing a VA loan with 10% down? Do that same VA loan if you want to do the VA loan and you want to put that 10% to good use. Put it toward buying down the interest rate. You're going to be much better off over the short and long run. You'll qualify easier. You'll spend less money. You know, and it just drives me crazy when I see these things come in that way. But you're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events in the financial markets. That's the Your Credit Matters segment, brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. You have a credit report, it's wrong. Get the $1 credit report that we talked to you about, and then get the free credit audit. It's really pretty simple. You can reach out to me anytime. Off air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, or anywhere. All the socials, we're there. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Better Outcome segment today being brought to you by mycdlp.com. mycdlp.com. The issue with overlooking property taxes in divorce. What is property tax? Let's start there. Property tax is a tax paid by an individual or entity on an owned property. Property taxes are a type of ad valorem tax, which means they are based on the assessed value of real property and some tangible personal property, such as boats or cars. Property taxes versus real estate taxes. What's the difference? Essentially, property taxes and real estate taxes are the same thing. The term real estate tax refers to tax on owned real estate. Real estate tax and property tax can usually be used interchangeably unless you are talking about personal property tax. Personal property tax includes movable assets like cars, boats, and planes, but excludes homes or real estate. Paying property taxes, most property tax payments are part of the homeowner's monthly mortgage payment, making them easier to pay. This is because mortgage servicers often collect the tax payment in monthly installments as part of the mortgage payment, and it's put in an escrow account. When the property tax installment is due and payable, the mortgage servicer will pay directly on behalf of the homeowners using funds from the established escrow account. Most municipalities organize their real property taxes so they are paid in arrears. This does not mean that the payments are not timely. Rather, it means that the state, county, or city bills a homeowner during the current year for property taxes that are attributable to owning the house in the prior year. The effect of divorce. One of the most often overlooked areas of real property and divorce is the existing tax liability may in reality be an existing joint liability. For example, John and Jane jointly own the marital home, and their pending divorce will be final in October of 2022. Jane is awarded the marital home, and as current owner, she will be billed by her county for property taxes in 2023 for the 2022 tax bill. But if John and Jane co-own the home for 10 out of the 12 months of 2022, shouldn't that tax liability be addressed and prorated in the divorce settlement as a joint tax liability? What happens to the escrow account? Escrow is a legal arrangement in which a third party temporarily holds money or property until a particular condition has been met. It's used in real estate transactions to protect both the buyer and seller throughout the home buying process. Throughout the term of the mortgage, an escrow account will hold funds for paying the future property tax bill and homeowners insurance. A couple of important points to consider when divorce comes into play. First, when the existing mortgage is paid in full, whether the home is sold or refinanced by the retaining spouse, the mortgage servicer will refund the existing escrow account balance only to the mortgagees. If John was the only spouse on the existing mortgage, the servicer would refund the existing escrow account balance directly to John. If both spouses are co-borrowers, the refund would be payable to both parties. Secondly, if Jane is refinancing the existing mortgage into her name, she may be required by the mortgage lender to establish a new escrow account in order to satisfy the upcoming tax bill, which, as mentioned earlier, should be considered a joint tax liability for the period of co-ownership. Although the settlement agreement may specify which spouse should be awarded the balance of the escrow account, the mortgage servicer will not alter their payee. It would need to be addressed in the settlement orders that John would sign over the escrow refund account to Jane, etc. Escrow account bundle balances can grow to be pretty hefty in certain areas of the United States. And when they are left unaddressed in the divorce settlement agreements, the door is left open for more conflict and frustration post-divorce. The entire amount of the escrow account is not held just for the payment of tax liability. It also is accruing each month to cover the upcoming homeowner insurance premium. What are property tax exemptions? In some cases, homeowners can qualify for a property tax exemption, which is just one way taxpayers can lower their property tax bills. Some of the most common property tax exemptions are available for seniors, veterans, and homesteaders. These property tax exemptions will reduce, but don't usually eliminate, property taxes. Homeowners should research any available property tax exemptions with their taxing municipalities. That is the Better Outcomes segment. Hey, if you got real property, get that mydymworkbook.com. Go to mydymworkbook.com and get a copy of the workbook. Send it back to us, and we'll put together an entire report for you on that. That's the Better Outcomes segment, brought to you by mycdlp.com, mycdlp.com. Let's see if we can get one more of these in. Your Credit Matters segment, brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. You have a credit report. It is wrong. What are you doing about it? Credit Sanitizer, they've got the solutions for you. Credit cards offer pay over time installment plans for large purchases. Convenience, cost, and ease of access are a few reasons for payment installment plans have become such a popular payment option. Despite some potential drawbacks, in response, a handful of credit card issuers have introduced their own installment option. Credit cards have always offered the ability to pay over time. It's a feature intrinsic to credit cards. Fixed pay over time payment plans, however, can be appealing because they offer a structured repayment plan with a set amount and a set payoff date. If you have a large purchase coming up, it's worth checking to see whether your credit card offers a fixed pay over time option. How credit card installment plans work? Credit card installment plans are an option for repaying eligible purchases that you've already paid, so you don't have to change how you shop. After you've made a purchase, log into your online account and look for the option to set up a payment plan next to that purchase. There you can review available plans and pick the one that works best for you financially. Note that you won't be able to create an installment plan for cash advances, balance transfers, or fees. Purchases above a set minimum amount, like $75 or $100, are generally eligible. All the benefits and protections that come with having a credit card still apply. For instance, purchases continue to earn rewards based on your reward program. If you have issues with a transaction, you can dispute it as long as you're still within the 60 days allowed by the Fair Credit Billing Act. Refunds may require an extra step. When you return a purchase, the refund is credited back to your credit card, but won't automatically reduce your plan balance. You can contact your credit card issuer to ask about having the refund credited to your plan to correct your balance. Pay over time. These plans use your existing credit limit, so you don't have to open a new account to use the feature. Since your credit report will likely list a single balance, including both plan and non-plan balances, it's worth considering how your credit utilization may be affected before creating a new plan. You can pay your balance early with no penalty, but you'll have to pay off the full balance, including the amount outside the plan. Small monthly fee, but no interest. Credit card installment plans don't require a down payment and offer longer repayment terms, but you do pay a monthly fee. The fee is calculated based on the balance, plan duration, APR, and other factors depending on the credit card issuer. Credit card issuers offer seasonal or introductory promotional offers from time to time. You can potentially save on fees by checking the deals before setting up your plan. Since you review and select plans based on cost and timing, you'll have the benefit of knowing the full cost before selecting a plan. Choose carefully. Once you create a plan, it can't be changed or canceled. If you aren't thrilled by the options, you can still pay the balance in full over time with regular monthly payments. Making monthly payments, your plan is due every month, just like a regular credit card payment. If you have a balance that isn't part of the installment plan, you're still responsible for paying at least the minimum. Fortunately, both are combined into a single monthly payment, so you won't have to keep up with different due dates. Paying your full non-planned balance each month allows you to avoid interest on new purchases, while cash advances and balance transfers usually don't have a grace period. You can minimize interest costs by paying these balances off earlier. Balance, convenience, and cost. Paying your credit card balance in full is ideal before the statement closing date. And look at rsrccpayment.com, rsrccpayment.com to understand what I mean by that. Taking advantage of a 0% promotional rate is another interest-free option for large purchases, but you'll have to qualify. Finally, if you opt to pay over time with an installment plan, choosing a shorter duration and avoiding new purchases can keep your borrowing costs low. That's your Credit Matters segment brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. You have a credit report. It is wrong. What are you doing about it? And as always, I ask, set that first radio preset button. Come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Big thanks to Josh, who's engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.